This is the Dublin team that will start, and it shows one change to the selection that demolished Westmeath in the semi-final. Paddy Andrews gets to wear the number 4 jersey today, as Rory O'Carroll has opted out of the squad as he begins his tour of Southeast Asia. Ross McConnell and Darren McGee have gelled well together at centre field, but this afternoon they could be facing their biggest challenge. The Brogan brothers have been on top of the game in their campaign with invaluable contributions from Conal Keaney, and that man at top of the left, the one and only Jason Sherlock. The Lily Whites of Kildare have been very impressive, especially up front, where James Kavanagh and Alan Smith have been scoring goals on a regular basis. Dermot Earley has been inspirational in the middle of the field, with more than adequate support from Darrell Flynn. Rather surprisingly, there's been a few concerns about the defensive setup, but Emmett Bolton and Mickey Conway's presence has helped considerably. There's one late change. Ken Donnelly replaces the injured Eamon Callaghan. He's recognised as the best in the business. The match referee is Pat McEnany from County Monaghan. It's Kildare against Dublin in the Leinster Senior Football Final of 0-9. Kildare in their traditional all-white strip, seeking their 14th title. Dublin going for 5 in a row and their 49th. Kildare won the toss, decided to play from left to right, which probably gives them a slight wind advantage in the opening 35 minutes. Here's Alan Brogan, half blocked. Danger still for Kildare. Back out for Brogan, second attempt. Bang on target. Opening score. Sherlock and Brogan combining. Darren McGee floating one in. Here comes Bernard Brogan. Waiting for it is Conal Keaney. Still Brogan. He's really a confident player, and he's definitely on form. Had to work hard to get away from Hugh McGrillen. Barry Cahill has switched from left half back to right half. Here's Cahill, formerly fullback, played midfield. Still going through, still Cahill. Brilliant! Not known for his goal-scoring touch, but you have to be impressed with a man that comes from left half-back over to right half-back, and he took off. Nobody stopped him. He saw the space. Akers opened up in front of him, saw the goal, and cracked a shot past Tom Corley. A fantastic start by the reigning Leinster champions. Here's Barry Cahill once more. Diagonal ball over towards Bernard Brogan. Oh, that's a lovely little chip up. Jason Sherlock has gone inside. Gives it in low. Not a great ball. Here's a confident player. The only man in the Dublin squad that has an All-Ireland medal since 1995. Well-worked score here between Bernard Brogan and Jason Sherlock. Ross McConnell. First to the ball. Good work by Morgan O'Flaherty. Goes for the return pass from Ronan Sweeney. Flaherty again inside. Here's a chance for Ken, and is it sweeping in? It's Ken Donnelly, and it's over the bar. Ken Donnelly kept the concentration, took his point. John Doyle wants it into space. David Henry comes out to meet him. They both slip. Going through the centre. Corey O'Neill on the run. Turns away, he knows exactly where it's going. Straight over Stephen Cluxton's crossbar. And Kildare have found their rhythm. They had to work hard. It really was a rather hot welcome to the Leinster Championship final. Morgan Flaherty showing well at right half back. James Kavanagh gets it in towards Smith. The confidence is growing within this Kildare camp. Kavanagh shoots from way out the field. Fabulous. And the Kildare fans know that that was a bit of class. Stephen Cluxton tries to find Paul Flynn. Comes back, tries Paddy Andrews. There's a Kildare man on the ground, that's Ken Donnelly. Referee and linesman, I'm sure, saw it, but play continues on. There's a touch there by John Doyle. And Kildare have it again, Morgan Flaherty. Now the referee, Pat McEnany, is going to hold play, but he's going to have a word with his linesman here. find out exactly what happened. He wants to have a word. Looks like Ger Brennan. It's a straight red. Dublin are down to 14 players after 18, almost 19 minutes played. Drama in Croke Park. This is Ken Donnelly. There was the punch by Ger Brennan. It was straight on. The linesman was absolutely correct, and so too was the match referee. The sides are level. And it's the man who actually got the clitter across the ear that equalises. Ken Donnelly from Ellistown. Good work by Brian Flanagan. Sweeney. Lovely little jink. It's easy. It's class. The pendulum of power and superiority is swinging from Dublin back to Kildare. Paul Griffin. Floating this one in towards Jason Sherlock. He has it. He shoots. Brilliant. 1-2 back of the net. It's Jail at his best. He did it 14 years ago for the Dubs when they won the All-Ireland title, and he still has the magic. Here's Jail, long ball, turn around, take it out. He really is a wonderful footballer, and the Hill rejoice. Ross McConnell. Dispossessed cleanly by Dermot Earley. Here's James Kavanagh. Acres of Croke Park opening up in front of him. Will they go for the point? Kavanagh. Bang on. Target for his second point. Dublin Kildare level in this Leinster final for the second time. James Kavanagh. Good ball for the wing forward to run onto. Has to try and get by Brian Cullen. Still Kavanagh. Sneaking one through. Where's Alan Smith? Ronan Sweeney is available in the middle. This is Sweeney. He has the time to compose and direct the ball where he wanted it to go. Good play, Kildare. With that extra man, they sneak in front. Jason Sherlock knocking it, or trying to knock it out for Paul Flynn. Sherlock has gone back in around the square. Bernard Brogan. An effort that is straight over the bar. Kieran Whelan signals his arrival onto the pitch. What a great score after just a minute of action in the second half. Kick out by Tom Corley. Well taken by Barry Cahill. Slipping one through. Bernard to Alan Brogan. On the turn. Ah, this is magic. Has the potential, if it maintains this momentum to the 70th minute of the match, to be the game of the season. Kieran Whelan. Bernard Brogan. The referee almost gets in the way. Still Brogan. Alan is the target man up front, but Brogan is going for the world tour. Gets in the shot, and that's fantastic. He really shouldn't have done that, because the defender from Kildare had done everything right. But when you have a quality footballer like Bernard Brogan, even from a very difficult angle, he still achieved it. Brian Flanagan. Good combination between Corrig O'Neill and Ronan Sweeney. Is the finish good? It is. Kildare needed to get going. It's taken them all of 10 minutes and a little bit more to score in the second half. In the centre, Dermot Earley. Seems to be the conduit of everything that happens with Kildare. Nice little flick on. Ronan Sweeney, Gary White. Chance of a score. It's very, very high. It's very, very accurate. Robert Kelly from Strafford in County Kildare levels the Leinster final for the 5th time. Here's Shane Ryan. Gets by Dermot Earley. Flicks it in towards Conal Keaney. Emmett Bolton defending well. Backfires Brogan once more. Hitting this with conviction and accuracy. He really is a man on form. And when you're in a pressure cooker like this, you need nerves of steel. Still time, 5 minutes left in this Leinster final. Good work here by Andrew McLaughlin. To the number 31, John Doyle, all alone. Mikey Conway, he's scored already. He's having another goal. It's dropping over the bar. What a match. What a performance. Level for the 6th time. This is a team that lost to Wicklow in the Leinster Championship last year. They're now putting it up to the Leinster champions for the last 4 years. 4 minutes left, thankfully, in the best game of the championship. Conal Keaney, outside to Kieran Wheeler. Alan Brogan, making a dash out in space. Brother Bernard going for the score. He turns away and the white flag is raised again. Brilliant. 6 points for Bernard Brogan. And once again, Kildare have to go back down the field and seek an equaliser. First to the ball. Paddy Andrews, picked up by Pat Burke. And away come Dublin again, into the space. Conal Keaney, come back here is Brian Flanagan. Flanagan has to win the ball, he fails to do so. Conal Keaney going for the goal, flicking it across. Here's a chance and it's gone wide. That was to put the wrapping on the title. Conal Keaney laying it on for Bernard Brogan, and as he fell to the ground, he knew himself that was an opportunity gone a begging. John Doyle taking up the responsibility, floating this one in. Eamon Callaghan had it and he just lost sight of the ball. David Henry gets it out just a little bit far as Barry Cahill. Dennis Bastick, the 5 in a row is on. Bernard Brogan, Alan Brogan leaves it off far as Brian Cullen. The other Brogan is at the edge of the square. Back to Alan, retaining possession. Pat Burke. Shane Ryan is available to his right. There's nobody at home, so they're going to try and play out the time here by keeping possession. Ryan to Pat Burke, going in along the canal end. Anybody around? Bernard Brogan sets up Brogan for the chance. Challenged by John Doyle. Here's Brogan. 8 points for a chap called Bernard Brogan. Son of Bernard Brogan of the great Dublin team of the 70s and 80s. A star has been born in this championship. Kildare have to get possession here. There's still time. Robert Kelly, free in for Kildare. 74,573 people cannot take their eyes off this game of football. It's dropping in and it's wide. The referee has blown the full-time whistle and Dublin are Leinster champions for the 5th time in a row. They have won their 49th title in a game that they won't forget. Full-time score in Croke Park. Dublin 215, Kildare 18 points. Seamus Howland, chairman of the Leinster Council, presents the cup to Paul Griffin. Dublin have achieved the remarkable 5 in a row provincial championships.
We've learned an awful lot from that game, and we couldn't have asked anything more from the players in terms of effort, but there's an awful lot of things that we need to improve if we're going to progress in this competition.
It looked like after the start you were on your way, but then obviously Kildare stepped up the gear, didn't they?
Yeah, I think we played into Kildare's hands a bit by delaying the ball a little bit too much around the middle, and we carried the ball into stupid contacts too many times, and we got that sorted out at half time, and I think we played it much quicker in the second half, which was much better.
When Ger Brennan was sent off, were you annoyed, angry, upset?
I didn't see it. I mean, obviously disappointed to get a guy sent off, but you just have to deal with it and get on with it. I think it was fairly close to me, but I just didn't see actually what happened. But I think Brian, when he came in, did a heroic job there.
Yeah, so 5 Leinster titles in a row for Dublin at senior level. Contrast that with Louth, who this week won the junior final for the first time in 43 years when they beat Longford. But this team, 5 Leinster titles. Is there an All-Ireland, Dara?
Oh, that's a question for further down the road, but they will definitely, of all the 5 they've won, I think this is the one they'll cherish the most, because not since 2005 has the margin been so small. Not since 2005 had they had to fight so hard for it. I think there was a lot of character shown there today. People started to emerge as leaders when they were down to 14 men. Defensively they were very, very strong, and they got an awful lot right. Yeah, they conceded 18 points. But, at the same time, 14 men conceding 18 points, that's not too bad at all.
Who were the leaders who impressed you?
Well, definitely Bernard Brogan emerged as a real leader, in the attack. But right across the defence as well, there was questions being asked before this game about Dennis Bastick. He wasn't conspicuous today as a defender, but at the same time, he wasn't exposed as many people thought he might be. And at the same time, he's an extra game under his belt, and, that can only be good going into the championship further on down the line. But, they've answered an awful lot of questions. That's what they're doing incrementally as the season is progressing. They're answering an awful lot of the questions. They're ticking all the boxes. The next question they're going to be asking is, why did we concede 18 points? But I'm sure that's something they'll be addressing.
All right. Kevin, Kildare fans were saying if we can hold Dublin at the start, we'll do okay. Once again, Dublin started like a train.
Yeah, it was so like the Westmeath beginning, and as you say, they would have been hammering that all week. Whatever you do, get stuck in at the beginning, keep it tight, everything will be right if you do that. And they get caught on the hop. 4 minutes gone, a goal in 3, and the goal that Dublin crave, they get it early from a defender, really flamboyant goal, magnificent goal. This is complete high skill, speed, pace, and fantastic finish. So it's 1-4 now, or 1-3 after 4 minutes. And there's a blitz going on here, and I'm sure they're a bit spooked by the whole thing. But to their credit, they're steady. They're up a point at half time, they come out the second half, and the opening 5-6 minutes, Dublin reel off the first 4 points again, and now putting themselves into a really good position. But again, to Kildare's eternal credit, Des, they work it back, 2-10 to 16 points. Now it looks like game on, 10 minutes to go or so, and then enter Bernard Brogan, and they get 5 points, clip them over in the final 9 minutes. Now, they did everything you could ask of them. And in the context, and this is very important, the second and third onslaught that we're describing here, done with 14 men on the field. So you can imagine the work rate, imagine the effort to get yourself into those positions. 3 magnificent blitzes, everything that the Dublin management would have looked for. Alas, from the Kildare point of view, they leaked heavily during those small periods, but it was magnificent to watch.
Yeah. Well, given and credit to Kildare for coming back after that blitz initially, and Kildare dominated in the second quarter of the game. So at half-time, Dublin had a lot of work to do in terms of preparing with 14 men for their defence there.
Yeah, I think even Pat Gilroy alluded to it there, how they were going to defend, how they were going to set themselves up defensively. And you have to give them huge credit for the way they defended, none more so than Paul Griffin. Fantastic block. This was in the 52nd minute, but right from the start of the second half, they only conceded 6 points in the entire second half. They conceded 12 in the first half, and with most of that time with 15 men. So you have to give him fierce credit. I mean, Paul Flynn had a fantastic game today. His role can't be understated. Tracked back, worked very, very hard. Paddy Andrews as well, a fine footballer, doing defensive duties. Probably would prefer not to. Brian Cullen came on in the second half day and was immense, absolutely immense. I don't think they'll feel Ger Brennan's loss with this guy inside there. And, there's been criticism of Cullen in the past that he doesn't defend enough. Well, he defended very well today. David Henry was absolutely outstanding right through. I thought, he rivaled Bernard Brogan for the best player on the pitch today. Well,
Kildare had the extra man, so did they utilise the extra man properly? Will they regret how it was done?
I think they did the best they could. They went for Mickey Conway, which was a good call. He's a good footballer, very accurate, good passer of the ball. But I mean, the question just before that arises, how did he get into this position? Now, this to me is just self-indulgent by Ger Brennan. He'll certainly regret it tonight. He'll certainly regret it over the next few weeks because he's going to be out of the championship. Conway, as we say, is who Kildare go for. And how do Dublin react? Well, they just start taking on man after man as Conway works through. But he's a classy player, good in the air, good with his hands, good with his feet, and they worked the positions very well in the first half. And then we heard Pat Kildare talking about how they had to think about it at half time, and Dara was touching on it. They still have the extra man, it's still Conway, but now Dublin have gone back in defence and said, come on to us now, if you can shoot from distance, do it.
I'd like to have seen him actually follow this ball here. You see, he stops the run, this ball eventually breaks out and he doesn't finish up. He's running parallel to this movement.
And probably stops his run as well.
He does more of it late in the second half when he was really needed. And you can see that he has practice of playing in the forwards. Once he gets inside the 45, he's thinking of score here, you know. And of all the players that you would have as free man, he's the guy, because he's the ultimate footballer. He has all the skills, the passing skills.
But Dublin reacted well at half-time, I felt, in that little change, that little nuance in their defence, because now by just collapsing back in front of and inviting Kildare to shoot from distance if they can, the big thing is the scores dried up from the likes of Kavanagh, from Smith, from Donnelly,
all the lads who scored,
the guys in the first half who were looking particularly sharp. And of course, when you collapse back in and shoot, there's going to be no goal chances. And that was key to the little change. Very, very bright bit of management at half-time, I felt.
Derek, quick word about Kildare. There's lots of praise for Dublin. What about Kildare going forward?
They're going to be a very, very tough proposition for anybody in the championship. You have to remember there was only 3 of these lads that had played in a Leinster final before, and I think that showed. We saw Mick Foley with a pass across field at crucial stages in the game. They're the mistakes that Kieran McGeaney will be addressing in the next couple of weeks. They showed probably their inexperience of this stage in the latter stages of the game, but they can hold their head up high. They played fantastic football. Might have made as much of an effort as any team will this year at doing damage limitation when Dublin are on top. They're very hard to stop when they go in those bursts.
All right then, so Leinster is a good province. OK, a lot of big games, of course, in yesterday's qualifiers. So let's see some of the action from them now, starting with Monaghan against